Hey folks, Kevin here. After posting the video the other day on the Cybertruck and Thea's Tesla Model Y, my brother Jim asked a question, and I thought I'd make a video about trying to answer this as best as I can. You sounded like a Tesla sales commercial this morning. I have a question. What is the life term of the battery? I think he means the typical lifespan, and how much to get rid of, and the cost if you need a new one, I guess, is what his question is. So what I'll say is it really depends. It's multifactorial, as is many things in life. So first, there are pouch batteries, and so what I'm talking about is lithium-ion batteries that are really prevalent. They're in the battery-powered tools that I'm using now all the time, and they're absolutely amazing. I'm trying to see the screen so I can see myself. So this is a AAA battery. This is not lithium-ion. This is a AA battery here, and this right here is a lithium-ion. This is an 18650 or 1865 is what it should be called. So the diameter is 18 millimeters across and 65 millimeters tall. The battery that comes in the Tesla Model Y, the one that we have, is a lithium-ion based chemistry, and I'll go over what that means in a minute. But it's 2170, so it's wider than this and taller than this. The Cybertruck comes out with a 4680, massive compared to this. It's like the size of a roll of toilet paper, but not quite as tall. So it's measured in millimeters. And these are cylindrical batteries. And the one that's coming in the Cybertruck is the second generation of the 4680. This is a new technology that Tesla has developed over time. Many other manufacturers use pouch batteries, and there's challenges with cooling and heating, and in the past, battery fires, like all the issues that GM had and all. Thea and I both had Toyota hybrids. I had a Toyota Prius, and Thea had a Toyota Camry, and I've talked about those batteries. Toyota historically made wonderful vehicles, and their manufacturing system is absolutely fantastic, with the exception of their battery management system. It really sucks. So the Prius and the Camry, their battery management systems, their ventilation, management of thermal regulation of those batteries, I think was very, very poor. But the hybrid cars were very, very good. But you couldn't really depend on the batteries. And there wasn't a way for novices to be able to assess the battery degradation as well. And a lot of it had to do with the battery management system. So I think the first part of your question is, well, how long will the batteries last if you're going to buy a new vehicle? And it's multifactorial. It's dependent on the battery size and shape, the battery chemistry, the charging habits that you're employing, the temperature of the environment that you're in. So batteries that up here in central New York won't have the high heat potential degradation properties of those people in Nevada, Florida, California. So having the temperatures in cooler environments prolongs the lifespan of the batteries as well. Certainly, depending on the battery management system and the software updates for managing the batteries really makes a big difference. Like with our case, with the Tesla Model Y, we see very little degradation. So it came with 326 mile of range, and I think I have about 324 miles of range after 3 years and 3 months of using it. Now, we aren't going to superchargers regularly. We're charging at home, and we're leaving it plugged in all the time when it's not in use. So the battery management system is constantly keeping those battery cells in peak performance. If you're, there was a person on, like Kim, I think it is her, or it used to be like, but it's Kim Java, has a YouTube channel, and recently she had one of her neighbor friends who used his Tesla, and I think it was a Model 3, a few year old Model 3, and he experienced tremendous battery degradation. That's where the range of the vehicle decreases significantly. And the main reason was because he was charging it to 100%, sometimes twice a day, because his business was so busy. And therefore the battery degradation was pretty pronounced. Now I haven't kept up on this in quite some time, but there was like a 2016 P95 Tesla Model S, so we're getting back into 2016 and all, several years old, that had like, I think, 300,000 miles on it, and it still had 90% of its functional use. And that's not uncommon. And they were using superchargers, and they were out west, down south. So it's really dependent on how well you're caring for the batteries and what your use is like. If you're renting the vehicle out, like a lot of people will do with the robo-taxis and all, there's going to be significant battery degradation, because if you're charging greater than 80% charge, you're really pushing the battery, the chemistry of the battery, and generating more heat. Now again, that's with today's technology, and the new Cybertruck has a new way of doing it, which I talked about, the 800 volt high voltage system for the main battery. So that changes everything quite a bit. But if someone is constantly on the road and they're putting, let's say, 150, 200,000 miles a year on their vehicle, and they're going to superchargers every single day and charging to 100%, the battery degradation is going to be pretty quick compared to someone like us. We plug our vehicle in when it's not in use. We never charge it more than 80%. Seldom does it even get close to 20%. Now, it may be beneficial to do a full cycle every once in a while as well. I haven't done that yet, so that may be beneficial. In other words, charge it up to like 95% and then deplete it down to 10%, and then bring it back home and charge it on our slow charging system. Just charge it overnight. So that may be beneficial. I don't know. I know people have done that and claimed that they regained, a few percent back from their batteries. So those are the things that I think about: temperature, charging habits, certainly driving habits as well. Like if you're constantly putting the pedal to the metal and showing off that you're going, you're going full tilt boogie with your vehicle, and just showing everyone there, well, then there's going to be a bigger dynamics going on in the high voltage battery system, and that may decrease or increase the rate of degradation of the batteries. So then the other part of Jim's question was, well, what do you do? What's it cost you to get rid of the battery? Well, nowadays, Tesla is actually doing their own recycling in-house of the spent special alloy aluminums, and they're starting their own battery battery recycling process as well. But before we get into recycling, first you want to get as much use out of it. So managing your battery use, as we just talked about, is so important. But once the battery is at an unacceptable level of degradation, and that would be different for different people. If we got down to 70% in 20 years from now, I might consider changing it, depending on what our driving habits are. But I'm really not too concerned about that at this point. you may want a new vehicle by that point in time. So it isn't uncommon for people to get, I believe that the warranty on the Tesla Model Y is 120 miles or 8 years, whatever comes first, 120,000 miles or 8 years. But there are many people that get much more range out of, get much more longevity of their battery than that, as I already mentioned. So let's say I want to keep the car and it's been X number of years and I just want to change the battery. It depends on what the rate of cost is. So the literal rate of the cost of building batteries has been coming down drastically since I first started investing in Tesla back in 2016. So the cost of making new batteries is coming down every single year. This year alone, lithium prices have dropped precipitously. And there are other there in the batteries in the Model Y. It does have a little bit of cobalt, nickel, manganese, and of course the lithium. But with the new lithium iron phosphate ones, we don't have some of those other rare earth metals and some of those ones that are of concern for mining issues in other countries where where people are not treated appropriately. They're enslaved. So there's a lot of issues when we talk about the battery chemistry and all, but certainly the batteries can be repurposed. So there are many people, you can look on YouTube, people using old Tesla batteries to power their homes. So once it's degraded to a certain point, they buy the batteries on eBay. And you can look up and you can buy old Tesla batteries on eBay, either to break them down and use them for your own projects that you're doing, or having a battery backup system for your home. This is after the degradation and the people are selling their batteries. So that's one thing. So really, upcycling or repurposing the battery is the next thing to be it's a second life application. The batteries are also used in research. So there's many research facilities that are using these batteries that are older, and especially if they have a detailed history of how the person's used it, which Tesla has, that really helps with research as well. Then it's material recovery. So so Redwood, oh my gosh, his name's going to leave me for a moment. I can't think of his name right now. He was one of the co-founders with Elon at Tesla. And once he left Tesla, now he's back on the board of directors for Tesla, but he started Redwood Materials, and that's recycling batteries. And so it's greater than 90% of the components that are in the batteries go right back into the battery manufacturing. They're 100% reusable. That greater than 90% of the battery that's recaptured from the batteries. So they're not going into landfills, and it decreases once we get to the point where there's enough electronic batteries out in the world. We won't have to do more mining and all. It's just going to be recapturing those materials from recycling facilities like Redwood Materials. And there are many other places doing it now since Redwood started. So I think that's about it. Did I write down a couple of notes here? I think I've covered just about everything. So certainly the battery technology is constantly evolving. The costs of building better, safer, more long-lasting, more powerful, greater energy batteries is improving year after year, and I'm just blown away by how quickly things have been changing over these last few years. And as I said, now a lot of the reason that the lithium prices are probably coming down is because GM's pulling back, Ford's pulling back, and all. They initially started getting on the EV train a little more seriously back when the Biden got the legislation for subsidizing batteries that are made here in the United States and all. But after the UAW strike, GM and Ford have both put on hold a lot of their battery manufacturing investments. And GM just did a big share buyback. Ford probably do the same thing. So all those loans that they got are going for the shareholders, unfortunately, which is a shame, which should be going for more battery advancements as well. So I won't go down that train at this point. And there's a lot of experts and a lot of great YouTube channels talking about the batteries and all. The Limiting Factor is a great channel. It's someone who's not an engineer, who has really learned an awful lot about the Tesla batteries and all, and the chemistries, and the various manufacturers of the battery systems, and the scientific research that's going on as well. And there's a plethora of different channels that have done studies. Even I think Motor Trend has looked at batteries and the duration of the Tesla batteries and all, and their safety as well. So I hope that helps out some, Jim. I hope it helps other people. So I thought I'd make this video just to share in the hopes that it would help someone. Well, thanks so much for watching. If you have any comments or questions or additional information or sites that you think are really valuable resources as well for helping to answer about battery technology and all, I think that'd be really great to put it in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.